After being found by my biological parents, I, who had always longed for family affection, restrained my temper and pretended to be obedient in front of everyone, determined to be a sensible and uncompetitive good child. But then, a suddenly bound system told me that even if I worked like a slave for them my whole life, I would not only fail to gain recognition and love, but also be mocked and looked down upon by the entire wealthy family, in the end. When I was sick and lying alone in a hospital room, my family was celebrating my adopted sister's award. Okay, fine, if you show no kindness, I'll show no righteousness, I'll sweep away all morals and just be myself. My adopted sister wanted to take my things, and when I refused, my biased parents scolded me. Your sister has been pampered since childhood, unlike you who grew up wild in the countryside. What's wrong with letting her have her way a little more? I slapped my adopted sister right back. A spoiled child can't be fixed. It's mostly an act. A good slap will do the trick. Ever since I stopped caring about morals, my whole spirit has improved a lot. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been curious about my sister's things. I shouldn't have dodged when she rushed over, causing her to bump her head. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. It's me who made my sister unhappy. Suemo lowered her head, her body trembling as she sobbed, looking utterly pitiful. The corner of her forehead that had hit the edge of the table was visibly red and swollen. The force of the push had been far from light, and when she collided with the hard surface, it felt as if her entire brain had been jolted loose. I sat on the floor with my knees drawn up, clutching my forehead as my skull endured a sudden, violent impact. My mood was already sour, and hearing Sumo's manipulative, tearful words in front of my mother made me want to swing my arm around and give her a full 360-degree spin. Clearly, I was the one who got hurt, yet my biological mother, Su Ling, held Suemo in her arms and comforted her softly. It's okay, it's not your fault, it's all your sister's fault for being unreasonable, don't cry. The shock in my head finally faded at this moment, and everything was fully processed in my mind, covering half of my face. I let out a low, bitter laugh. My sudden laughter caught Sumo's attention. She huddled in Mrs. Su's arms, looking frightened, and timidly said, "Sister." Seeing this, Mrs. Su hugged Suemo even tighter and scolded me sternly. "Xiang Yen, don't scare your sister, scare my sister." I sneered inwardly. So, Suemo barged into my room without permission, peeked at my drawings, even tried to tear them up, and when I caught her and politely asked her to return them, she not only refused but deliberately pushed me down, causing me to hit my head. And all of this is my fault. I look at Suemo before me, who pretends to be delicate and timid but is actually gleeful, and Su Ling, who has been comforting Suemo without a single word of concern for me. Thinking back to the content shown to me by that thing calling itself a system, I closed my eyes for a moment. When I slowly opened them again, the hurt and longing in my gaze are gone. I turn my gaze to Suemo, who is hiding behind Su Ling with a smug, sneering expression, and speak with utter disgust. "What brand of trash bag are you, so full of it?" As soon as I speak, both Suemo and Madame Su are taken aback. Clearly, neither of them expected that I, who had been obedient, compliant, and always spoke with my head down in a soft voice since being brought back, would suddenly say something so out of character. Suemo only paused for a moment before immediately reacting, tears welling up in her eyes as she grabbed Mrs. Su's sleeve, taking the opportunity to step on me. "Mom, I knew my sister didn't like me, but I never thought she would think of me this way, making me seem so despicable. What a super eco-friendly bag. It must be great at holding trash." Su Ling, as expected, was provoked by Suemo, her face showing a hint of anger. "Xiang Yen, even though you are my biological daughter, Momo is also the daughter I raised from a young age. Both of you hold equal weight in my heart. If you continue to be so intolerant of your sister, I will discuss with your father about sending you to live at the old estate." I slowly rose from the ground, and when I looked up again, my eyes were filled with impatience for these two people, so busy scolding her that you forgot about you. "You fool, you're the same, like a turtle looking at a mung bean. You found your match, haven't you? You, Xiang Yen, how dare you speak to me like that? I am your mother." Su Ling covered her chest in disbelief, looking as if she had suffered a great injury. Suemo shared the same hatred. "Sister, you can hate me, But how can you say such things to Mom? I watched them coldly, mother and daughter showing affection. If it were before, I might have envied this scene, suppressing my true nature to better integrate into this family I had been separated from for over a decade, striving to play the role of a well-behaved girl, but just moments ago. After Sue Mo pushed me and I hit the corner of the table, a book's content inexplicably appeared in my mind. According to the book's description, Sue Mo is the beloved female lead of a sweet romance novel. Although she comes from a humble background, she is incredibly lucky. First, she was adopted by the wealthy Zhou family, who had lost their daughter. Her arrival soothed the pain of the Zhou family, who had just lost their daughter/sister. Because of her good nature, thoughtfulness, and obedience, she won the affection of the entire Zhou family, who spoiled her like a little princess, until was found. I resented the female lead for usurping my identity and enjoying the affection of my parents and relatives for many years, and I envied her for being liked by everyone, so I opposed her everywhere. The book wrote that I couldn't tolerate her, always wanted to drive her away, plotted against her, and due to having picked up bad habits from years outside, I was narrow-minded, selfish, and malicious. In the end, I was despised by all my relatives and friends, ridiculed by people in the wealthy circle, and driven out of the family to fend for myself, and Sue Mo became the only recognized young lady of the Zhou family, living a happy and fulfilling life. Fine, I'm narrow-minded, selfish, and malicious. In the book, I slaved away for them my whole life without ever getting a response, only to be compared and looked down upon, at the end of the story. While I was lying alone in the hospital with an illness, their family was still celebrating Sue Mo's award. Okay, fine. If you show no mercy, I won't be righteous either. I'll sweep aside all morals and just be myself, thinking about how I've been playing the obedient girl with my head bowed for the past 6 months. I've really been suffocating myself. They have no idea how beautiful my original mental state was. I forgot to tell you, because things kept disappearing from my room the other day, I installed a surveillance camera in my room myself. I said to Sue Mo with great interest, "Would you like to check the surveillance footage? Who was it that took my things without asking, rummaged through them, and still refused to return them?" Upon hearing this, Sue Mo's face briefly showed a flicker of panic, but she soon burst into tears and defended herself. "No. I just wanted to see if you were missing anything, so I went into your room without permission to help you fill in the gaps. I didn't mean to keep it from you. I just loved that painting so much and wanted to look at it a little longer." Su Ling was surprised to hear that Sue Mo had barged into my bedroom, but as soon as she saw Sue Mo crying and explaining, she immediately set aside her suspicions and showered her with unconditional affection, even if it's just some scribbled-on scrap of paper. Let alone a masterpiece by a famous artist. If Mo wants to tear it up for fun, she can. Do you really need to make such a big deal out of it? Besides, your sister has been pampered since childhood. She's not like you, who grew up wild in the countryside. What's wrong with you giving in to her a little more? She even went so far as to say something so blatantly biased. All I felt toward them now was cold indifference. I was originally planning to present evidence and state the facts, thinking it's best not to be too extreme, but it seems they don't appreciate such a gentle approach. In that case, I can only give them what they want, so I took a step forward. Sue Mo immediately stepped up with a heroic gesture, shielding Su Ling and declaring, "I am the one responsible for this." Before she could finish the word responsible, I swiftly backhanded her, sending her face to the side, watching the rapidly reddening handprint swell on her cheek. I smiled with satisfaction and said cheerfully, "When a child is overly delicate and never seems to get better, it's often just an act. A good slap usually does the trick." Sue Mo covered her face and screamed in utter defeat. Su Ling, who had never seen such a scene before, was so frightened that she trembled violently, staring at me in a daze, even forgetting to comfort Sue Mo, who was howling in pain. I've always been strong, and I used all my strength when I slapped Sue Mo. After all, my forehead still hurts from earlier. My personal principle is to settle scores on the spot. Taking a step back only makes you angrier. Enduring for a moment leads to breast nodules. Only by slapping back can you feel physically and mentally at ease. I suspect that in the end, I'll develop an illness in the book, all because of holding it in. Mom, am I going to be disfigured? Sue Mo had never been hit like this before. She felt half her face was ruined. Crying and complaining to Su Ling with tears and snot streaming down her face, Su Ling, as if suddenly awakened from a dream, pointed at me and was about to unleash a torrent of abuse. I slightly raised my hand. The words Su Ling was about to utter instantly choked back, and she fearfully shrank her neck. You hit Momo, so you can't hit me. Su Mo, her face swollen like a steamed bun, stared wide-eyed in disbelief, watching the two bullies who only pick on the weak and cower before the strong. I lost the mood to continue. A moment of madness brings a moment of pleasure, and staying mad brings lasting pleasure. I drove the two annoying people out of the room and locked the door. I picked up the scattered sketches that Su Mo had dug out and thrown all over the floor, smoothing them out one by one and putting them away. When I was still living in the remote mountains, the first time I got my hands on watercolor markers, I took advantage of the adults being away and scribbled all over the white walls at home. When my grandmother returned from the fields and saw the messy scribbles covering the walls, instead of flying into a rage and giving me a good scolding like most people would, she smiled and praised my drawing. She even went to town to buy me paper for drawing and has always supported my passion for art. Even back then, I knew I would achieve something in painting. I was certain of it. I got lost when I was 4 years old while out with the Zhou family's nanny. Later, I was abducted, and I'm not sure how I managed to escape. I ended up wandering in Ji province, where Grandma Bai found me. At that time, I was shocked and developed a high fever, and I couldn't remember anything. I lived with my grandmother like that for 18 years. When I was young, I was bullied by mischievous boys at school. Other parents might have wanted to keep the peace, thinking it would be awkward to make a fuss since we were all neighbors, but my little old lady stormed into the school, banged on the principal's desk, and demanded that the parents of the boys who bullied me come out and apologize to me face to face. From then on, everyone knew that I had a fierce and strong-willed old lady at home, and that her granddaughter was not to be messed with. Anyone who tried would regret it. See, when I want maternal love, I can willingly give my all for it. But I refuse to beg for love from anyone like a dog wagging its tail, because I have never lacked love. I deserve to be loved by better people. Later, when I recalled the events of that day, one major reason I dared to act so recklessly in the Zhou family was that Grandma Bai gave me the confidence. Even if I left the Zhou family, I still had a way out. Therefore, the final description in that book, that I would lie alone on a hospital bed, regretting my actions towards Sumo and crying bitterly, simply doesn't hold true. I would only feel that the slap wasn't loud enough, so I'd get up and give a couple more slaps, liberating my nature and feeling at ease. I pasted a sheet of drawing paper, immersed myself, and entered a world of free-spirited painting. No one was causing trouble, and I didn't have to think about pleasing anyone. I quietly stayed in my room and painted all afternoon, until Zhou Zhengshu returned home from work. As soon as the sound of a car echoed in the yard, Su Ling and her daughter, who had been quietly sulking all afternoon, immediately put on tearful, sorrowful faces, wiping their tears as they went out to greet him. I can't go on living, my life is so miserable. Su Ling, who had always been poised and elegant, was now wailing and crying. Zhou Zhengshu, exhausted after a full day of work, suppressed the displeasure in his brow and asked gently and politely, "What's going on here?" "What else could it be? Go ask your precious daughter what she's done. It's outrageous. I can't live like this anymore." The thing Zhou Zhengshu was most satisfied with in his life was that both his personal life and family had always been harmonious and happy. Aside from the daughter he lost as a child, he had never faced any setbacks. The wife is dignified and proper, managing the household and raising the children. The eldest son is a talented young man whose achievements surpass his own, even though he doesn't share his surname. The younger son, though a bit idle, is filial to his parents and respectful to his elder brother. The adopted daughter is even more considerate, warm-hearted, and well-behaved. He didn't need to do anything to enjoy the beauty of a harmonious family, but this day shattered the peace and beauty of his life. Su Ling only cried and accused without explaining what had happened. Su Mo grew a bit anxious and, with the slap mark from the afternoon still visible on her face, couldn't help but interject, "It was my sister. She suddenly went crazy, hit me, and even talked back to Mom. Dad, my sister might just be feeling a bit unsettled since she just returned home, so her emotions are unstable. If she holds a grudge against me and wants to hit me, then so be it." But she doesn't even know how to respect Mom. As the two of them wailed and rushed out, I opened the window and leaned against the balcony, watching their performance from above. After Su Mo finished speaking, Zhou Zhengshu's expression visibly darkened. It was clear he now believed I was a rude, violent person who casually beat my sister and showed no respect for my parents. What's all this barking about, with so much drama? You must be quite the actress, right? If you love speaking for others so much, when the sewage truck passes by your house, do you grab a spoon to taste how salty it is? Darling, look at her. Su Ling raised her head, pointing at me, trembling with anger. Zhou Zhengshu's frown was so deep it could have crushed a fly. I know Zhou Zhengshu well. What he cares about most is a happy family. He rarely loses his temper with family members. But he also doesn't tolerate anyone challenging his authority as the head of the household. Before he could speak, I tossed the pre-prepared surveillance USB drive to the driver behind him. Take a look at this first. See how Su Mo sneaked into my sister's room to play the thief, and then we can discuss whether my slap was too light or too heavy. In fact, the surveillance had been installed the very first day I moved back into the Zhou family home. No other reason. Vigilance is just in my nature. From the moment I returned until now. Everything Su Mo did in my room has been clearly recorded. I didn't bother with it before because I looked down on her tricks. Su Mo's face suddenly changed drastically. She stepped forward to snatch the USB drive back from the driver, but he skillfully dodged her. He wasn't just a driver, but also a bodyguard. Su Mo brought out her most skilled act of crying and playing the victim. I know my sister doesn't like me staying in this family, but I've lived with Mom, Dad, and my brother for so many years. I can't bear to leave you all. If I go, there will be no one to accompany Mom shopping, no one to give Dad a massage after a long day at work. Zhou Zhengshu's expression had already softened somewhat. I clapped my hands. You have a pretty clear understanding of your own role, don't you? The bag-carrying little sister and the massage girl. Su Mo's expression shifted repeatedly, and Zhou Zhengshu was gradually growing annoyed. I'm already annoyed enough at work. And now I have to deal with this mess when I get home. Let's go inside first. What are you all doing standing at the door? What will people think if they see us? Su Ling and Su Mo's attempt to strike first didn't succeed. Everyone moved to the living room, and I came downstairs as well. The driver was inserting the USB drive into the computer, ready to play its contents. Su Ling and Zhou Zhengshu sat on the sofa, while Su Mo stood to the side, nervously biting her finger as she watched. The driver clicked to play the video at a faster speed. On the day I returned, Su Mo appeared in the room. She threw the things on the bed to the floor, stomped on them repeatedly to vent her anger, and when she turned around, her face was filled with malice. Zhou Zhengshu's brows furrowed sharply, and Su Ling also wore an expression of disbelief. I have to keep streaming until she steals my stuff. Su Mo suddenly lunged forward, knocking over the water on the coffee table and soaking the work laptop. The driver quickly picked it up and wiped it with a paper towel, and the video cut off. Su Mo knelt on the floor, her head resting in Su Ling's arms, trembling as she said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been jealous of my sister and taken my anger out on her things. I'm so afraid that when my sister comes back, she won't like me and will kick me out. I know I'm just an adopted daughter. Even though I've been in this family for over 10 years and have grown close to Mom, Dad, and my brother, the thought of never being able to call you Mom and Dad again, or ever act spoiled around you, makes me so sad. That's why I did something so irrational. You can blame me, hit me, or scold me, whatever it takes to make my sister feel better. What a clever move, bending without breaking, pulling the rug out from under someone, turning the tables completely. I watched her performance quietly, not uttering a word. Zhou Zhengshu is actually someone who places great importance on a child's upbringing, or perhaps not so much on upbringing itself, but rather on maintaining face and the authority of the head of the family. Although the surveillance footage didn't show the very end, he was already somewhat angered. However, seeing Su Mo crying and hearing her words, he didn't go to extremes in the end. Instead, he said with a stern face, You are an adopted daughter of the Zhou family, and legally, you will always be a child of the Zhou family. No one will drive you away. But you shouldn't have done those things in your sister's room. I know I was wrong, Dad. You can hit me. Su Mo raised her face, tears streaming down, crying as if rain-soaked pear blossoms. Su Ling felt a pang of compassion and pleaded on her behalf. Mo is just spoiled by me. She has been our precious pearl since she was little. With Yan Yan suddenly coming back, it's understandable that she would have such thoughts and make mistakes. You can't be too harsh on her. Besides, even if Mo did something wrong, Yan Yan shouldn't have slapped her. In a family, there's nothing that can't be discussed properly. That was so uncivilized. Zhou Zhengshu just wanted to quickly wrap up this family dispute, so he directly ordered, starting today, Su Mo is confined to her quarters for 2 months to reflect. Xiang Yan. Go to the Buddhist hall to pray every day. When you've corrected your temperament, that's when it ends. The impartial judge who gives both sides a fair share of blame has also made an appearance. After watching the expected drama unfold, I sneered coldly and turned to go upstairs. Behind me, Su Mo was still leaning weakly in Su Ling's arms, crying. When I turned back, I saw her confident, triumphant smile. Xiang Yan. What do you have to compete with me? I understood what she was mouthing. I raised my hand and pointed at the surveillance camera in the living room. Her face suddenly stiffened, and she quickly lowered her head. The sky cleared, the rain stopped, and some people think they can do it again. When Mrs. Xiang was alive, she practiced Zen in her later years and built Buddhist halls both in the old Zhou family residence and the villa where they now live. Buddha statues, meditation cushions, wooden fish, and scriptures, everything was available. Zhou Zhengshu insisted that I listen to scriptures for 5 hours every day in the Buddhist hall. I endured it, as the hall was quiet and allowed me to focus on conceptualizing new paintings. Reading the scriptures also helped me gain knowledge in areas I hadn't explored before. But a few days later, the meals the nanny brought me were all vegetarian. The reason was that Su Ling suggested to Zhou Zhengshu that since they wanted to temper my character, they might as well go all the way, eating vegetarian food, chanting Buddhist scriptures, and cultivating both body and mind. Su Ling came from a good background and married well. She had never faced any major setbacks in her life. After marriage, she mostly spent her time drinking tea and competing with other wealthy ladies. At her core, she wasn't very clever and wouldn't have come up with such a convoluted idea, without a doubt. The suggestion to make me eat vegetarian food must have come from Su Mo. When I treated her like a decent person, she didn't even bother pretending properly. She just had to act like a sly troublemaker. After a few days of eating vegetarian food, my whole body felt restless and full of pent-up energy. Bored and with nothing to do, I posted a WeChat moment visible to everyone except Grandma by 1 hour. If I don't get meat, I'll go crazy. Buddha's sinister smile. When the nanny brought another plate of vegetable leaves, I patted my butt and stood up, heading from the prayer room to the Zhou family dining room. That's great, Zhou Ken is back too, and together with Su Mo, who was under house arrest, the family of 4 is happily having a meal together. The wicked can dine at the table without a care, while I've been gnawing on vegetable leaves in the temple for days. Excellent. Upon seeing me, the 4 people who were having dinner were all taken aback. Zhou Ken hadn't been home for a long time and was unaware of what had happened earlier. He happily waved to me. Yan Yan, you're home too. Come and join us for dinner. According to the book's description, Zhou Ken is the second son of the Zhou family and the only child with the surname Zhou. With his older brother managing the family business, he felt free to enter the entertainment industry for fun, eventually becoming a top star. He is busy with work and rarely comes home. Essentially a carefree second-generation heir. When I was driven out of the house by my parents, he had no idea what was happening at home. In the end, when others explained to him that I had done many wrongs, he foolishly believed it. No matter what happens later, at least now he treats both me and Su Mo as sisters, trying to be fair and impartial, rarely showing favoritism. I slowly walked over to him, considerately using the serving chopsticks to add a few more pieces of meat to his plate. Then asked him to hold it steady. Zhou Ken hugged the bowl, laughing uncontrollably. Yan Yan is suddenly being so nice to second brother. I'm almost overwhelmed. The next second, I flipped the tablecloth with one hand, sending all the dishes and food crashing to the ground. Only the bowl in Zhou Ken's hands was spared. Shock. Zhou Ken stared blankly at the mess on the floor, silently clutching the bowl in his arms. Ah, Xiang Yan, you're insane. The only bowl of soup on the table was placed in front of Su Mo. When the tablecloth was flipped over, the soup splashed half of her body. but the soup in the Zhou family was always served lukewarm, so it wasn't hot. Although Zhou Zhengshu wasn't hit directly, his clothes were splattered with soup. A vein throbbed on his forehead as he struggled to contain his anger, finally speaking with restraint. Xiang Yan, what are you trying to achieve with this scene? Your second brother has finally come back, and we were just trying to have a peaceful meal together. Do you really have to stir up trouble and disrupt the family harmony? With a cold expression, I retorted, the culprit here indulges in wine and meat, while the victim has to eat vegetarian and chant Buddhist scriptures every day. Wouldn't you be upset? I'm not a real Buddha, all compassionate and forgiving. If I don't make a fuss, how would you blind fools know I have feelings too? Zhou Zhengshu flew into a rage, pointing at me and exclaiming, You. Zhou Can had no idea what had happened before, but seeing that a family conflict was about to erupt, he had no choice but to play the peacemaker and try to please both sides. Yan, sit down first and explain what's going on. Who made you unhappy, Dad? Don't get angry yet. Yan isn't the type to make a fuss for no reason. She flipped the table. Isn't that making a fuss for no reason? If she dares to flip the table today, will she dare to flip my skull open tomorrow? I sneered. You made me chant Buddhist scriptures today. You'll have me eat vegetarian tomorrow, and the day after, will you force me to become a nun? Why is Su Mo, who's under house arrest, allowed to eat normally, while I have to keep eating grass? Is this your idea of fairness as a parent? Zhou Zhengshu was furious. Didn't I say that since the second child is coming home today, everyone can come out and eat normally? You didn't come out yourself. Who else is there to blame? The vegetarian meal was delivered right to my door. Who told me I could eat normally today? Zhou Zhengshu glared angrily at Su Ling. Su Ling hurriedly explained, I said I told Mo first, and she said she would go tell Yan. I crossed my arms and looked at Su Mo. I knew it was that old green tea again, from the moment I suddenly appeared and overturned the table. Su Mo was already panicking. A drop of cold sweat trickled down her forehead as she stammered an explanation. I had a stomachache halfway through, so I asked the aunt to pass on the message. Maybe she misunderstood. I crossed my arms, not believing a word of her nonsense. All right then, let's call the aunt over and see if she misunderstood or if you deliberately passed on the wrong message. Two-faced, scheming, gossiping in groups. Not much knowledge but plenty of tricks up your sleeve. Enough. How long are you going to keep making a fuss over such a small matter? The food is spilled, so no one gets to eat. Zhou Zhengshu was so angry he lost his appetite. He slammed the table, stood up, and strode away with a dismissive wave. I sneered coldly, looking down on him from the bottom of my heart, a coward who only knows how to run away from family conflicts. Su Ling glanced at the chaotic scene, then at Zhou Zhengshu walking away, and quickly hurried after him. Zhou Can remained completely out of the loop. Would you two like to sit down and talk it out? Before Zhou Can could finish speaking, Su Mo burst into tears first. I'm sorry, sister, I should have gone to call you myself. It's rare for second brother to come home for a meal, and now everything is ruined. I shot back. Dry those tears. If you think your blush isn't red enough, I can add some color with a slap. Su Mo pitifully covered her face, which had finally managed to subside the swelling. Zhou Can continued to mediate in a tone used to coax a child. We're all family. Let's sit down and talk things out properly. How about shaking hands and making up? Okay, shut up. What's there to hold? I have trypophobia. I can't stand people with too many schemes. My patience has its limits too. I didn't mind being vegetarian and chanting sutras before because it posed no direct harm to me, but I don't intend to keep enduring it any longer. A scheming adopted sister, a clueless second brother, a thoughtless mother, and a hands-off father. Staying in this kind of family is nothing but pure trouble. With a house full of troublemakers, there's really no need to waste any more time. I went back to my room to pack my things, before returning to the Zhou family. I hadn't yet graduated from college and had been living on campus. Now that I've graduated, I can't stay in the dorms anymore. But how hard could it be to find a place of my own? I dragged my suitcase downstairs and found the family of four sitting together again. Zhou Zhengshu's anger had subsided, and Su Mo obediently handed him tea by his side, making the atmosphere much more harmonious than the earlier incident at noon. Seeing me, the others hadn't reacted much yet. But Su Mo started acting again. Sister, Where are you going with your luggage? Are you moving out? Is it because of me that you... I'm sorry, if you really can't accept me staying at home, then let me be the one to move out. You, Mom, Dad, and brother are the real family. Zhou Zhengshu slammed down his teacup and said, Xiang Yan, have you had enough? A perfectly good family, and you insist on tearing it apart. Is that it? Before you came back, Momo had been living in this house all along. If you can't stand her, then get out, don't ever come back. Zhou Ken was startled. Dad, how could you say such a thing? Su Mo, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Were you a broken record in your past life? You love apologizing so much. Did I force you to say sorry? Did I say anything? Who are you putting on this act for? I set down my suitcase, rolled up my sleeves, and went full throttle. No one was getting away with it, and you. My grandma must have done the splits while she was pregnant with you, giving birth to such a fool. What else can you do besides throwing a useless tantrum, getting played by a green tea bitch and still thinking you're a genius, a good bamboo sprouting a rotten shoot, like digging up a steamed bun at the Sangsingui ruins. Zhou Ken was swamped with work. Yen, keep it down a bit, not a bit less, move aside, clumsy dog. Zhou Ken still wanted to pull me back. Yen, don't be like this. Zhou Zhengshu roared, let her go, once she leaves, she will no longer be a daughter of the Zhou family. I rolled my eyes, grabbed my suitcase, and was about to leave when the Zhou family's door suddenly opened. A strikingly handsome man with an imposing presence walked in, instantly becoming the center of attention just by standing there. He gave a slight nod to everyone. Sorry to intrude, I'm here to pick up Yen, Ying Buqing. What are you doing here? The young master of the Ying family. Brother Ying, why are you here? Everyone in the room, except for me, was surprised and taken aback by Ying Baiqing's arrival. TSK, that dog of a man is putting on a show again. It was clearly my moment to shine. Fine, who made me such a magnanimous person? Give him a chance to appear and make an appearance in front of the audience. Speaking of which, the Ying and Zhou families were originally considered old friends. More precisely, the Zhou and Ying families from the time when old lady Xiang was still around. After all, the Zhou family in City A, without the added status of old lady Xiang, is just an ordinary wealthy family, far from matching the top-tier, century-old aristocratic Ying family. Mrs. Xiang was originally the only daughter of a top wealthy family in Hong Kong City. She was a close childhood friend of Mrs. Ying, who married into the Ying family, which is how the two families came to have connections. Old Mrs. Xiang is truly the epitome of an only child, not only inheriting the family fortune of the Xiang family but also expanding the family business on the mainland. Later, after marrying the third master of the Zhou family, she maintained her identity as a businesswoman, decisive and resolute. During the lifetime of Mrs. Xiang, people never referred to her as Mrs. Zhou, and even many years after her passing, she was still called Mrs. Xiang. Later, although the Zhou and Xiang family businesses were integrated, the Xiang family still held the greater share overall. Currently, the main industries are managed by my eldest brother, Xiang Tinjing, while Zhou Zhengshu only oversees some of the less important businesses that originally belonged to the Zhou family. Originally, when the elderly Mrs. Xiang and Mrs. Ying were young, they made a pact to become in-laws. However, both families only had sons. When it came to the grandchildren, the eldest grandson of the Ying family and the eldest grandson of the Xiang family were born in the same year, but in the end, nothing came of it, and they only ended up being called brothers. Baiqing and Tinjing are names derived from the two elderly ladies' favorite poem from their school days. Remembering a night excursion to Chengtian Temple, Yen said she wanted to eat meat, so I came to pick her up. Ying Buqing naturally took the luggage from my hands. Uncle, Aunt, I came in a hurry and didn't bring any gifts. My apologies. Someone will come to deliver gifts later. Yen is hungry, so I'll take her to eat first. Then, without waiting for anyone to react, he took the luggage in one hand, held my hand with the other, and led me away. Once we were outside the Zhou family's door, I couldn't help but shake our clasped hands and gave him a sidelong glance. I told you to wait outside. Did you come in just to steal my spotlight? Ying Buqing sighed helplessly. I saw you hadn't come out for a long time and was worried about you. Besides, I came to pick you up. No one would dare gossip about it. No matter how you look at it, you're right. even though I vented my anger today, if rumors spread tomorrow about the Zhou family cutting ties with me and kicking me out, it would be quite embarrassing for me, although I'm not afraid of those rumors and don't care about the Zhou family. I left because I looked down on them, not because they abandoned me. If the rumors twist the truth, it would make me seem pathetic. Alright, I'll forgive you this time, let's go. After eating vegetarian food for days, I'm really craving meat now. Ing Buching tilted his head slightly and asked seriously, what kind of meat? Me, help. Someone's secretly having a fever in broad daylight here. Brother Ing, Su Mo chased after us. We, who were about to leave, had no choice but to stop. Ing Buching appeared quite aloof and distant. Although the two families have been close for generations, Ing Buching only got along well with my eldest brother because they were the same age. He could also hold a conversation with Zhou Can, but he had almost no interaction with Su Mo. After all, he is 6 years older than us. When he was already in high school, Su Mo and I were still in elementary school. Brother Ing, are you picking up my sister because of my eldest brother? Su Mo put on an innocent, delicate act, as if trying to confirm something. No, Ing Baiqing said calmly, Yan Yan is my girlfriend, I came to pick her up, and it has nothing to do with anyone else, only her. Su Mo's anxious heart finally sank, biting her lip. She put on a pitiful expression again. I know there are many misunderstandings between me and my sister. If possible, I'm willing to do anything to atone for my mistakes, whether it's letting her hit me or scold me. I just hope my sister won't drift apart from mom and dad because of me. I pinched my nose and said to Ing Baiqing with a troubled look, I try to avoid the shit, but the shit thinks I'm afraid of it. Su Mo's face stiffened for a moment but quickly returned to normal. She lifted her chin, revealing a slender and delicate neck that looked pitiable. Her cheeks flushed with a charming pink hue. I've heard that Grandma and Grandma Ing had a verbal marriage agreement in the early years. But I believe we are now in a new era where everyone should have the freedom to marry as they wish, and we shouldn't be bound by the marriage arrangements of the older generation. However, I'm still very happy to see my sister and brother Ing together, bringing our two families even closer. I wonder if brother Ing still remembers. When we were kids, my older brother often took me to play with him. I was quite delicate back then and accidentally scraped my skin. And it was brother Ing who helped me apply the medicine. Ing Baiqing said expressionlessly, I just found a band-aid for Xiang Tinjing. Su Mo's face was almost as pale as a zombie's. The show is good, I love watching it, keep it coming. Su Mo is simply an indomitable cockroach. I admire her persistence in playing the innocent victim. The more setbacks, the more courage, the more failures, the more effort. Hearing them mention our childhood, I do have some recollection now. Before I got lost as a child, my eldest brother loved taking me to show off to Ing Baiqing. He had a biological sister, while Ing Baiqing didn't. According to the adults, there was one time when my eldest brother somehow managed to piss off Ing Baiqing, holding a grudge. The next time my eldest brother brought me to the Ing family to show off, Ing Baiqing took advantage of my brother going to the bathroom and hid sleeping me in his own room. He let my brother panic and search frantically, refusing to tell him where I was. Of course, in the end, both of these childish guys were punished by their respective grandmothers. Moreover, I met Yan Yan long before the Zhou family acknowledged her. I can probably guess what you're trying to imply with all this, but please don't insult my intelligence with your pitiful acting. With that one sentence, Su Mo was completely shattered. Ing Buching and I ended up together for a reason. We're both sharp-tongued. My connection with Ing Buching, how should I put it, is probably something like, meeting him is what I deserve. As the only child and sole heir of the Ing family for 3 generations, Ing Baiqing was groomed as the successor from a young age. Born at the pinnacle of the social pyramid, it is said that he is cold and unfeeling by nature, decisive and ruthless, and remarkably capable at a young age. Not only did he suppress his uncle's family, who once held a position in the Ing group, but he also surpassed his father to become the decision-maker of the corporation. Besides Mr. Ing, he is the most powerful figure in the Ing family, a ruthless character who even suppresses his own biological father. But in reality, as someone truly close to him, one can only feel a sense of shared honor. No amount of praise is ever enough. Kei Ning is one of them. Ing Baiqing's little fangirl who never stops praising him. The Ing family has few members, and Ing Baiqing has no siblings. So his cousin is no different from a biological sister. Kei Ning has always admired her cousin Ing Baiqing the most since childhood, to the point where she praises him to every friend. I've heard it at least 100 times, if not 1,000, since I got to know her. The first time I truly met Ing Baiqing was when a few of us from the dorm had planned a trip to travel and gather inspiration, but the rented car broke down halfway. With no experience in such situations, we were all at a loss for what to do. Kei Ning made a phone call and calmly said upon returning, "It's fine, my brother happens to be inspecting a nearby county and will send someone over soon. The surrounding scenery is beautiful, and since we were just waiting, the others calmly took out their sketchpads and started drawing here and there." Meanwhile, Kei Ning and I continued to hide by the car, waiting for someone. The signal here was poor, so we didn't want to risk losing contact later. The scenery around here was quite nice, with many tourists coming and going. Even the spot where our car had broken down had attracted people who stopped specifically to take photos. Seeing the two of us squatting by the car, quite a few had already come over to ask if we needed help. Kei Ning leaned in, shielding the side of her face with her hand, and said, "I bet at least half of the men here are here because of you." I raised an eyebrow, unconvinced. "Didn't you notice how they were all looking at you when they came over? They all have some kind of motive for being so proactive. If it were someone else, the number of kind-hearted people they'd encounter would be cut in half." Back then, I was a bit sunny and confident, and I liked to talk irresponsibly. "If there's a handsome one, I'll definitely add them on WeChat." At that moment, Kei Ning nudged me, gesturing toward a black car that had just pulled over by the roadside. "What do you think of that one?" I looked up just as the car owner stepped out, walking around the vehicle. The first thing I noticed was his impossibly long legs, encased in suit pants, moving with a steady, unhurried pace. He was tall, with a slender and upright posture. Broad shoulders and a narrow waist, the sleeves of his high-quality white shirt were rolled up, revealing strong and powerful forearms. Moving upward, the collar was slightly loose, showcasing a graceful neck and a prominent Adam's apple. For some reason, even though he wasn't particularly close, a small red mole could be seen beside his Adam's apple. A bit sexy, still a bit tempting. When Yuwa created humans, there were inevitably moments of favoritism and distraction. Some were just casually flung specks of mud, while others were meticulously sculpted. The sharply defined lines and handsome features were a perfection that even art students couldn't find fault with. A high, straight nose, thin lips slightly pressed together, and deep-set eyes that seemed to hold a vast expanse of ocean, yet without a ripple. The slightly elongated, inward-turning corners of his eyes, which should have looked affectionate and gentle, instead appeared cold and detached on him. He really did have that kind of "looks so good it's almost a problem" vibe. While I was observing him, he also raised an eyebrow slightly and glanced over. The dense, long lashes swept up and down, as if brushing against my heart. It felt strangely ticklish. I withdrew my gaze and casually joked with Kei Ning, "My relationship with handsome guys is that we don't know each other, but I call them husband." As soon as I finished speaking, I saw Kei Ning blink her eyes and suddenly burst into laughter. Confused, I asked her, "What are you laughing at?" Then, with a half-smiling expression, Kei Ning stood up, patted her butt, and called out ahead, "Bro." I followed her gaze and saw that the man, who had been at a distance just moments ago, had already approached with his long, superior legs and was now standing right in front of us. I was stunned, squatting on the ground without moving a muscle. My mind raced, thinking, he probably didn't hear what I said, right? Even if he did, he definitely wouldn't have guessed I was talking about him. I remained calm and composed, inwardly certain of my guess. Kei Ning helped me up from the ground and introduced us. "Brother, this is my best friend Yan Yan. Yan Yan, this is my brother, Ing Baiqing." At that moment, I was eerily composed and politely followed Kei Ning's lead, greeting him, "Hello, brother." Then, this cold and aloof man, whom Kei Ning had described as reserved, old-fashioned, and boring, slightly raised his eyebrows and slowly asked with his 37-degree lips, "Not calling me husband, I, ha ha ha." My calm and composed expression shattered, my toes curled tightly against the soles of my shoes, yet my soul had already performed a Thomas full twist and orbited the moon twice and a half. He not only heard it, but also clearly knows he's very handsome. I think Kei Ning doesn't have a full understanding of her cousin. For example, describing him as quiet, old-fashioned, and boring is debatable. He isn't the silent type, at least when it comes to love. He can be quite talkative at times, especially with flirtatious remarks. As for being old-fashioned, it might stem from the family education he received growing up, which made him more traditional and conservative when it comes to relationships between men and women, and when he picks up on the jokes. There's no hint of dullness at all, especially when it comes to my occasional wild trains of thought. He can seamlessly connect with them from every angle. As a rare man with a top-notch ability to detect pretentiousness, Ng Baiqing had no qualms about shattering Su Mo's little schemes. He then politely nodded slightly and led me to his car parked by the roadside. Su Mo was still standing there awkwardly. After the car started moving, she thought she was being subtle and wouldn't be noticed. But she revealed a fierce expression, her gaze as if trying to pierce through the windshield and stab into me. I rolled down the car window, leaned out, and as Su Mo's fierce expression turned to shock, I calmly raised my hand and waved. Then, just as she stiffly waved back, I suddenly retracted my index and ring fingers, leaving only one finger pointed at her. Su Mo's hand froze in midair. "Come to my place." Ng Baiqing saw my ambiguous gesture but didn't comment. Instead, keeping his eyes on the road ahead and casually asking, I retracted my international gesture, lowered my head to pick at my nails, and said with restraint, "I can rent a place, or buy one." Leaving the Zhou family, I no longer need to rely on anyone. I have enough confidence to walk away with dignity. Asking Ng Baiqing to pick me up wasn't to witness a confrontation, but simply because he is my boyfriend. Ng Baiqing didn't deny this, only objectively analyzing. Living alone in a rental isn't very safe, buying a house won't be settled quickly, and you'd still need to decorate and adjust. You wouldn't be used to it. I have a dedicated art studio at my place, and the bedroom has been modified according to your preferences. I rested my cheek on my hand, feeling a slight sweetness in my heart, but deliberately said, "How come I never knew you liked painting?" Ng Baiqing glanced over, fully aware of what I wanted to hear. Yet without a hint of embarrassment, he admitted candidly, "I had it installed specifically for you. I've been planning this for a long time to invite you to stay." I closed my eyes, feeling a surge of satisfaction inside. Ng Baiqing, a top-tier boyfriend who always speaks up, always knows what I like to hear, and always fulfills my wishes. That book never mentioned the relationship between Ng Baiqing and me. His existence was only briefly described in a few lines about his background. And in the end, when I lay alone on the hospital bed, he was nowhere to be seen. But I'm not foolish enough to completely believe the descriptions in a nonsensical, meaningless piece of writing and doubt the flesh and blood person beside me, questioning his affection and loyalty. Just as Su Mo in the story is the kind-hearted, virtuous heroine, while I am the scheming, malicious cannon fodder. I really want to deal with that damn White Lotus Su Mo, making her unable to last even 5 chapters. With just a slight effort on my part, I've already reached the limit of her level. Moving into Ng Baiqing's place not only gave me access to a professional studio and a top-tier living experience, but it also meant I no longer had to deal with those worthless scumbags from the Zhou family. When I'm in a good mood, I'll flirt with Ng Baiqing a bit, and when I'm in an exceptionally good mood, I might even arrange a small meetup. For example, calling him Huaimin and dragging him out in the middle of the night to wander the streets. For instance, on this particular morning, Ng Baiqing was just about to leave for work, standing at the door fastening his buttons. The door was open, and the morning light fell upon him, casting distinct shadows. His restrained face, paired with his unhurried movements, exuded an air of noble elegance, every frame resembling a masterpiece painting. Standing on the stairs, freshly awakened, I was utterly captivated by this beautiful scene. I gently rubbed my fingers together, deciding to stir up some trouble. "Are you going to see her again? You've already met her 4 times this week. Today is the 860th day anniversary of us being together. Can't you stay with me just once, in your heart? No matter what I do, can I never compare to her? If you still can't forget her, why did you even get together with me in the first place?" I looked at him with a fragile expression, as if my heart had been utterly broken. Ng Baiqing paused while adjusting his cuff, then looked up with a gaze that seemed on the verge of laughter. After a moment, he lowered his eyes, his expression turning cold, and shot me a glance as if looking at trash, commanding in a domineering and ruthless tone, come here, inside, I was screaming, but on the surface, I timidly walked up to him. Ing Baiqing leaned down slightly, reaching out to pinch my cheeks with a motion that appeared forceful but was actually very gentle. He leaned in with that face so handsome it could be forgiven even for being a jerk, gave me a disdainful glance, and coldly tossed out the words, "Know your place, Xiang Yan, don't let your imagination run wild, you should understand what it means to me, yes, that's the right flavor, no mistake." Before I could even praise him for another day of perfect teamwork, he had already withdrawn his look of disgust, leaned in to plant a light kiss on my cheek, and corrected me, "Good girl, it's the 862nd day, me, can't compete with that level of smoothness, can't compete, I'm out." I was about to chase him away when I looked up and saw several people standing behind Ing Baiqing, outside the door, who had been watching us for who knows how long, their mouths slightly agape in shock, and one of them was holding a camera, which, unsurprisingly, was still recording. My expression slowly stiffened, my cerebellum O0 gradually atrophied. Ing Baiqing, who had been about to kiss me again, seemed to sense something. He suddenly straightened up, wrapped his arm around me, and turned around. After seeing the person at the door, it took him a few seconds to react and understand the situation. There was no embarrassment or anger on his face at being seen in his feverish state. Everything was as usual. He nodded toward the other person, then glanced at his watch and said to me, "There's no time left, I have to go, have fun on the show." "Okay." I also regained my composure and waved my paw at him. Watching Ing Baiqing's low-key yet luxurious Maybach drive out of the estate, I turned to the program crew staff at the door, who all wore different expressions, and asked with a calm face, "Is the filming today?" The assistant director of Amateur Observation Diary manually closed his jaw, which had dropped in shock, and nodded, "Yes, yes, Miss Xiang, we sent you the specific filming schedule half a month ago." I thought about it. Half a month ago, I was passionately painting in the studio specially designed by Ing Baiqing. I was so engrossed that when the program crew staff contacted me for the address, I didn't even notice and casually sent the location of Ing Baiqing's home, then didn't bother with it anymore. As for this show, it was just over 3 months ago. Shortly after I returned to the Zhou family, Su Mo wanted to break into the entertainment industry, just like Shou can, so she signed up for this show to make her debut. She told Su Ling that she was too timid to go on the show alone and wanted me to accompany her. Those two just casually informed me and brought me along as well. At the time, I thought it would be good for everyone. Just accompany her on the show and go through the motions, so I went along with it. The book also mentioned this show, and it was this program that established Su Mo's debut persona, the wealthy, kind-hearted, and beautiful, pure Jasmine, the only one of her kind in the domestic entertainment industry. Additionally, I made a complete fool of myself on this show, appearing utterly pitiful compared to Su Mo. I was also cyberbullied by netizens and looked down upon by the Zhou family for constantly opposing Su Mo. Su Mo made a beautiful debut, while became the control group. And my fate took a sharp turn for the worse from then on. Now, although I have left the Zhou family, this program was signed long ago, and withdrawing would require paying a penalty. It's not that I can't afford it, but there's no need to give money away for nothing. Besides, doesn't Su Mo love to act? Play then, let's see who can outplay whom. Anyway, I've been idle lately and need to find some fun. I changed into a comfortable outfit for going out, when I carried my suitcase downstairs. The photographer, having received permission, was holding the camera to give viewers a live tour of the downstairs area. Beside them, the assistant director held a tablet, with the screen filled with rapidly scrolling bullet comments. "Which wealthy heiress is this, living in such a luxurious manner?" I thought Su Mo's family was already rich enough, but the ordinary people the show finds are truly anything but ordinary. I don't know about the woman, but as for the one at the door just now, I can only reveal a little. His surname is Ing, from City a huge celebrity. Mentioning his name would be absolutely shocking. Could it be that young master I'm thinking of? I'm from City A, let me tell you, it's him, it's definitely him, my dream crush. How could he be like this? Not only does he have a girlfriend, but he's also a total jerk. My heart is broken. Turns out I don't dislike jerks. I just dislike ugly ones. The young master's behavior is clearly so scummy. But I still got swept away by his looks. Let me say it first, I'm just shallow. You say he's devoted, yet he has a white moonlight and still looks for a substitute. You say he's a jerk, yet he remembers the exact day they got together, facepalm with a bitter smile. This guy is blatantly scummy. He has a girlfriend but still keeps ties with his white moonlight. If I were that girl, I would have broken up and run long ago. Staying behind to degrade yourself, how pathetic is that? How to put it, you could first look into the Ying family in City A. With the young master's looks and wealth, he definitely can't be stingy with his girlfriend. I totally get this girl. He's giving so much money, what's a little heartache in love? Covering mouth crying. The comments up to this point were still normal discussions, some focusing on the playful scene between Ying Baiqing and me at the door earlier, while others were curious about our identities. Shortly after, a wave of Brother Dong and Sister Dong comments began to emerge, starting with, I heard that, and ending with, where there's smoke, there's fire, forcefully offering qualitative analysis. I heard the woman use some tricks to make the young mastering submit. The young master and his white moonlight are the real victims. Damn, really, that woman is just too disgusting. The know-it-all in the domestic entertainment circle is at it again. What, did young mastering whisper in your ear that they were forced to break up? I sent young master Ying's attitude already obvious enough. Do we really need to spell it out? From what I know, young master Ying's white moonlight is surnamed Su. Later, there might be a good show with the stand-in and the white moonlight sharing the screen. Damn, could the white moonlight be Su Mo? If that's the case, I can totally understand. Su Mo seems like a kind-hearted, well-behaved girl, pure as a jasmine flower, while this woman just looks mean from her face. If she hadn't actually done something, why would young mastering treat her like this? Rumors don't just come out of nowhere. The barrage is buzzing with heated arguments, centered on belittling me and using Su Mo as the radius to draw a circle of rumors. The only pure jasmine in the Chinese entertainment industry has also started marketing herself. The show's filming location was set in a coastal town in a neighboring city, with the 6 guests arriving one after another. Besides Su Mo and me, the other 4 are an internet celebrity, an online folk singer, an internationally award-winning violinist, a CEO of a company, and a young master from a wealthy family. 3 men and 3 women. Su Mo is acquainted with all 3 men. When I arrived, Su Mo was doing her best to radiate the charm of a pure jasmine flower, with the violinist, the CEO, and the young master all gathered around her, chatting and laughing, not sure what was said that was so funny. She covered her mouth and laughed, her body shaking with mirth. Folk singer Jeannie sat a little further away from them, holding a guitar, quiet and somewhat isolated, looking pitifully lonely. At this point, it's worth mentioning that the romantic storyline in the book is also very fitting for the innocent, delicate female lead, with 3 men and 1 woman in a love triangle. Everyone loves her, but the official pairing is with the domineering CEO, while the other 2 are just backups. Happy face. The book also has very little description of Jean, basically treating her as a background character, occasionally forced to witness the love triangle between the male and female leads and the male supporting characters, becoming a part of the lead's little game. Happy face. After all the guests arrived, the live streams merged into one, the barrage comments converged, and a new round of momentum building began. Ah, Momo is so beautiful. They're chatting so happily. Can we have all 3? The stand-in has arrived. Is it time to meet the white moonlight? So excited. Let the drama begin. What stand-in? What white moonlight? Check out Weibo. The woman who just arrived is named Xiang Yan, and she's young master Ying's girlfriend. But she's just a stand-in. The young master has his own white moonlight. Oh, and by the way, the white moonlight is our Momo. Oh my, the stand-in and the real one in the same frame. Is this show really that explosive? Oh my god, what a charming heroine our Momo is. Not only does she have a violinist, a CEO, and a young master, but she's also the white moonlight of young mastering. But why would young mastering abandon his white moonlight for a substitute who doesn't resemble her at all? Actually, calling her a substitute isn't quite right. It's more like a certain woman used tricks to get young mastering to be with her. Isn't this supposed to be a lifestyle variety show? Why are all the comments shipping people? I thought I accidentally stumbled into a dating show. The only pure white jasmine in the domestic entertainment scene, a charming heroine, a white moonlight. It's all too much, I'm out of here. Huh, it seems I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Compared to the overly commercialized one girl three guys group next door, I prefer watching this peaceful and beautiful girl group here. Speechless, even someone like Xiang Yan, a scheming woman, has people who like her, lol. Forget about whether the stand-in white moonlight is real or not. At least Xiang Yan's looks completely outshine your, the only pure white jasmine in the Chinese entertainment industry, still claiming victory, clearly a plastic surgery freak, a typical internet celebrity face. These comments remind me of the last time someone marketed the only little white flower in the domestic entertainment industry. Amen. Ha ha ha. How can I run into a fellow fan sister here too? The last one who marketed herself as a fresh-faced flower in the entertainment industry has already shattered her persona and turned into an invincible queen bee. Yi Qiao, my beautiful mute bride. Though I am no longer in the Jianghu, legends of me still linger in the Jianghu. So Su Mo wants to imitate Yi Qiao's marketing strategy of playing the innocent flower in the entertainment industry and then flipping the script. Yi Qiao has a sharp tongue and a strong mental state. But what does she have? Her harem of admirers and chaotic love triangles. I walked over to Jean E and softly asked, "Hello, are you Jean Dada?" Jean E shyly nodded. "I've watched your videos. I really like your songs, especially the one called You in the Mountains." As an online folk singer, Jean E is quite popular on the internet, but she lacks confidence and is somewhat introverted. However, when it comes to her songs, she radiates confidence from the inside out, her eyes sparkling. Really? Thank you for liking it. In the Mountains is a song I wrote for my grandmother. I was raised by her. I smiled and said, I also have a grandmother, and she lives in the mountains too. Woo woo. Finally someone is talking to my Yi. Although she's socially anxious, she actually really craves interaction. Highly recommend You in the Mountains. It makes me cry every time I listen to it. Children left behind and raised by their grandmothers will definitely resonate with it. My values follow my aesthetic sense. Xiang Yan's smile is truly beautiful. She could easily debut based on her looks alone. Xiang Yan, the homewrecker, get out of the show. At that moment, Su Mo seemed to finally notice us and walked over with the three male guests who were fawning over her. Sister, Su Mo, with her gentle and delicate appearance, bit her lips slightly, putting on an expression that said, although I'm very sad, I'm very magnanimous, sister. Don't listen to the nonsense online. I have no relationship with Brother Ing. If you like Brother Ing, I won't compete with you for him. I feel so sorry for Mo. She's clearly heartbroken but still forces herself to explain to the person who took away the one she likes. Why does Su Mo call Xiang Yan sister? Mo, don't give up. Young Mastering likes you. Wait, I remember Su Mo's family being very wealthy. How did Xiang Yan, who's practically unknown, manage to steal the boyfriend of a wealthy heiress? Day after day, you're all over the gossip fields, yet you can't make sense of a single story. First of all, who is Xiang Yan? What's his relationship with young Master Ing? And what's the connection between Su Mo and Xiang Yan? I didn't want to do anything to her, but she came to me herself, so don't blame me. Happy face. I glanced at the camera that was already shoved in my face, completely unfazed, and went about my business. How many mothers do you have to go around calling everyone your sister? If you love to latch on so much, did that last slap not satisfy you enough? Su Mo covered her face in horror. Such a stark contrast in power immediately sparked public outrage against me online. Damn, this woman is so arrogant. What kind of background does she have? How dare she threaten Mo? I really want to take her down. The hot-tempered young master couldn't hold back any longer and spoke with disgust. A woman as malicious and scheming as you has no right to speak to Mo like that. I glance at him and ask mockingly, did you hide when humanity was evolving? The young master didn't understand. What does she mean? The CEO explained. She's calling you brain dead. The violinist disapprovingly lectured me. How could you insult someone to their face? I laughed. Not only will I scold you to your faces, but if you can't hear clearly, I can even carve it on a tombstone for you to see. Damn it, this woman really knows how to curse. Xiang Yan single-handedly cursed out 4 people, as easy as turning over a hand, as easy as turning over a hand. This woman is really something. Fortunately, the director soon appeared and put an end to the topic. The so-called observation diary involves placing the guests in a location and letting them live on their own for a week. No money, no food. They have to earn it by completing tasks. I can't cook. Upon hearing that they had to cook for themselves, the pampered young master was the first to voice his stance. I haven't learned it, so I might not be good at it, the aloof CEO said. The violinist sighed helplessly. I need to protect my hands at all times, so I'm sorry. The truly kind and beautiful female lead slowly steps forward. It's okay, I'll do it. I specifically went to learn before coming. The barrage is full of praise for her hard work and dedication. The director looked at me. I slightly curved my lips. I'm a kitchen disaster, and E's hands for playing the guitar need to be taken care of. Since Sumo specifically learned how to cook, let her handle the cooking for the next week. Sumo, who just wanted to show off in front of others, shattered beautifully. Damn, this girl is so disgusting. Actually expecting my Momo to pay for everyone's meal. Didn't Sumo say she would do it herself? What's been said must be done, even if it means kneeling to finish it. However, for the sake of the show's effect, the production team required everyone to contribute, so everyone helped with the preparation, but the actual cooking had to be done by the pure Jasmine herself, except for the first meal. All subsequent food must be earned by the guests through labor or purchased with money they make themselves. The production team wouldn't miss such great material, so they designed challenges to push the guests to their limits. After a few days, everyone was completely exhausted. After finishing the day's tasks, the production team finally showed some mercy and decided to lighten our workload. Given how hard everyone has been working these past few days, our production team has come up with an idea. In a moment, we will offer 2 spots. The selected guests can invite an external guest to join our show for a day, the so-called external assistants. Of course, the more famous the better, the more capable the more desirable. Not only can we have an extra person to help, but it can also bring popularity to the show. After the draw, both Sumo and I won the opportunity to invite external assistants. After the spots were announced, Sumo immediately took the lead and said, "Can I call for external assistants now?" With the approval of the show's production team, Sumo retrieved her phone and, in front of the camera, dialed the number saved under the contact name, Second Brother. The phone rang a few times before it was answered. Sumo's voice was sweet. "Second Brother, I drew the task of calling for external help on the show. Can you come and assist?" The phone was on speaker, and Zhou Can, who happened to be on vacation and lounging at home, asked, "Is it the one you took with Yen Yen?" Sumo's expression changed slightly, then she answered reluctantly, all right, send me the address." After finishing, she hung up the phone, feeling confident of victory. Sumo looked at the camera playfully and said, "You definitely won't guess who I've invited as my backup. Who is Momo's second brother? He doesn't seem ordinary either. Why would Momo's second brother ask about Xiang Yan? This Xiang Yan is so annoying. She's everywhere. Why does the voice sound a bit like my husband?" It does sound a bit like Can's voice, but probably not. Sumo couldn't wait to ask Zhou Can for help, simply because she was afraid I would beat her to it, so she could let the audience know that she and the top male star Zhou Can are siblings. Funny, she didn't even consider that Zhou Can is also my brother, and my biological brother at that. What's the use of rushing to invite him? Of course, I couldn't be bothered to call that clueless Zhou Can. What could he possibly do if he came? As it turned out, I was right. When Zhou Can appeared in the live broadcast room the next day, hands in his pockets and looking effortlessly cool, it was utterly useless, except for causing the number of viewers to skyrocket and getting the show trending on social media. "Second brother, you're here." Sumo was the first to greet him, intimately linking her arm with his. Zhou Can had been a troublemaker since childhood. Although he was quite fond of his younger sister, he had never been this close to her at home, so when Sumo linked her arm with his body stiffened uncomfortably all over. Seeing the two of them acting intimately, the little wolf dog was the first to get jealous and asked, "Who is he?" Sumo looked at the camera and explained, "This is my second brother. Is it strange that we have different surnames? It's because I took my mother's last name." Oh my god, Momo is actually Can's biological sister. No wonder she could get him to show up for work. This family is so good looking. I came out carrying 2 bags of trash, saw Zhou Can, and walked past without even glancing at him. Shokan saw me and happily pulled his hand out of Sumo's embrace, waving at me. Yen Yen, why didn't you greet your second brother when you saw him? I tossed the trash into the bin and replied dismissively. Oh, the little wolf dog was displeased again. Why are you talking to Xiang Yen? Don't you know how she treated Mo? Are you even her real brother? Su Mo wanted to stop him from asking further, but she couldn't hold back. Shou Kan's 250. What's the deal? Why can't I talk to Yen Yen? She's my sister. Shou Kan spent his days either sleeping or playing games, so he really had no idea what was happening online. Xiang Yen is your sister. What about Momo? Both are. How can a cousin compare to a biological sister? What nonsense are you talking? Yen Yen is my biological sister. You're surnamed Shou. Momo is surnamed Su. How many mothers do you have? Shou Kan snapped angrily. How can you insult people like that? Yen Yen shares my grandmother's surname, and just like that, Shou Kan managed to fry everyone else's brains with just a few words. I'm a bit confused. Su Mo and Shou Kan are biological siblings. Shou Kan and Xiang Yen are also biological siblings. One takes the father's surname, one takes the mother's surname, and another takes the grandmother's surname. So, does that mean Su Mo and Xiang Yen are also biological sisters? What about the white moonlight stand-in you mentioned before? Two sisters fighting over one man. If that's the case, it makes sense. Originally, Ing Dashao and Momo were in love, but due to an arranged marriage and Xiang Yan's scheming to interfere, she ended up being the one in the marriage. How exciting. The wealthy families are full of drama, just as expected. Stealing her sister's boyfriend. That Xiang Yan is even more disgusting. I don't care how many mothers Shou Kan has. I only care about what to eat today. Quietly passing by their world, Shou Kan is a curious baby. Seeing me squatting on the ground, she asked curiously, Yen Yen, what are you doing? I impatiently yelled, I'm planting vegetables. Get lost. You're stepping on my seedlings. If you really have nothing better to do, go to the village entrance and carry the manure. Shou Kan looked pitifully aggrieved. Haha, even the cool guy Shou Kan got scolded by his sister and ended up looking wronged. Xiang Yen, a feisty beauty who attacks indiscriminately, with Shou Kan joining as an external reinforcement. We all had the pleasure of feeding one more mouth that day. Shou Kan, a gluttonous and idle second-generation heir who can't tell the 5 grains apart and is too lazy to lift a finger. In the evening, after seeing off the big shot Shou Kan, Sumo turned to me and asked, Sis, who are you inviting over tomorrow? Mom and Dad definitely can't make it, and Brother Ing is so busy with work. We shouldn't bother him. I saw right through her intentions and rolled my eyes directly. Brother this, brother that all day long. Are you trying to lay an egg? No one would hire someone who only eats without working, just like you. After scolding me, I turned and went inside, exhausted from the day. What is Xiang Yen so smug about? Momo doesn't owe her anything, yet she acts all high and mighty all day long, even if she shamelessly invited young Master Ing. There's no way he would agree. Even if he did come, it would be for Momo's sake. Shou Kan might not be good at working, but at least he brought some attention. What can the person she invited bring? The person I invited brought a full Manchuhan imperial feast. When Yi Qiao appeared at the program group's cabin wearing sunglasses and leading a row of 5-star chefs, this day, I deserved to enjoy the good life. Damn, Yi Qiao, how did that woman get here? Once the innocent little flower of the entertainment industry, now the invincible queen, she's here with her sharp tongue. Yi Qiao walked past the 4 of them, Su Mo and the others playing a 4-player game, glanced sideways, and smiled. If you sprinkle some rice on your phone, even a chicken would play better than you 3. The 3 male guests who were supposed to carry their female teammate but ended up being carried by the only random player. Su Mo spoke up in defense, don't say that, it's my fault for being too inexperienced. Not theirs for playing poorly, Yi Qiao, so you know you're inexperienced. If you're inexperienced, practice more. If you can't handle losing, don't play. Stop pretending. I can't stand green tea behavior. The sarcasm was truly at its peak. I think I know why Xiang Yan was able to call Yi Qiao over. God gave them beautiful faces, yet they all chose to use those hateful mouths to speak. So how did Yi Qiao get to know Xiang Yan? The foul-smelling bond of the fierce beauty. Seeing Yi Qiao, whom I hadn't met in a long time, I happily ran over and hugged her. Xiao Xiao. You're here. Yi Qiao reached out and pinched my cheek. Let me see, you've gained a little weight. It seems the food at Ing Baiqing's place is better than at the Zhou family's. Jean Yi asked quietly beside me. Yen Yen, how did you get to know Yi Qiao? Yi Qiao held me and explained to everyone. Let me introduce myself. Yi Qiao, Yen Yen's sister-in-law. Her own sister-in-law. Yi Qiao's husband seems to be that young master. Xiang Tinjing is Xiang Yan's older brother. Both of them share their grandmother's surname. The Zhou family was actually run by old lady Xiang in the past. Xiang Tinjing was the designated heir of the Xiang family by old lady Xiang. After Xiang Yan was born, she became old lady Xiang's favorite grandchild, so both of them have the surname Xiang. Their family situation is quite complicated. Moreover, Xiang Yan and Su Mo are the same age, but Mrs. Su only gave birth to one child back then, not twins. So one of Su Mo and Xiang Yan must be a fake heiress. Judging by Yi Qiao's attitude, she clearly gets along better with Xiang Yan. Xiang Yan mentioned before that she has a grandmother living in the mountains. Stop guessing. Su Mo is the adopted daughter of the Zhou family, and Xiang Yan went missing at the age of 4. This has long been no secret in our circle. Moreover, there has never been any news of a marriage alliance between the Ying and Zhou families. Ing Baiqing and Xiang Yan were already together long before she returned to the Zhou family. I always found it strange. The atmosphere between Ing and Xiang at home was quite sweet, so I don't understand why some people kept insisting that Ing had a white moonlight and were so sure it was Su Mo, whose pretending is clear at a glance. Have you already forgotten the conversation between Xiang Yan and young Master Ing at the doorstep that day? I'm dying of laughter, everyone. Stop guessing, the person in question has responded. Hurry over to Weibo to see young Master Ying's true white moonlight. Everyone rushed to Weibo. They saw that a newly verified account, reposted by the official Ing group Weibo, had just posted its first tweet. Ing Baiqing, my white moonlight. Image excuse the mess, meeting 5 times a week. It's only natural my girlfriend has some complaints. The photo shows work documents piled up like a small mountain on the office desk. Ing group's official Weibo reposted this. What white moonlight? It's just a little lover's quarrel. Su Mo has crashed and burned, completely broken, and can no longer pretend to be the only pure white jasmine in the Chinese entertainment industry. Some busybody online leaked the chat records of Su Mo buying internet trolls to market herself as the pure white jasmine, the femme fatale, and Ing Bai's white moonlight. The jasmine flower turned black before it even bloomed. Before the show finished recording, she withdrew from the program, claiming illness. The 3 male guests who had originally fawned over her were quite awkward during the show. The final days of recording ended in an atmosphere where they were so embarrassed they could have spiraled into the sky. While I was thoroughly enjoying myself, later, Su Mo went abroad. To be precise, she was sent abroad by Zhou Zhengshu. All the things she had done were reported by Yi Qiao to our eldest brother, who was away on a business trip. I don't know what our eldest brother said to Zhou Zhengshu, but he panicked and sent Su Mo abroad to fend for herself, and Su Ling finally realized how wrong she had been to blindly favor her adopted daughter all along. She called to ask me to come home, but I blocked all the Zhou family's contact information except for my eldest brother's. Sorry, I'm not a recycling bin. On the day Su Mo was escorted out of the country, she sent me a lot of messy messages. The gist was questioning why fate treated us so differently. She was born an orphan, while I had such a good life. Even though she was adopted by the Zhou family, she still lived in fear that I would one day return and take everything from her. She said things shouldn't have turned out this way. I should have been trampled under her feet, despised by netizens, rejected by my family, and eventually driven out to fend for myself. Meanwhile, she should have become a film queen. The only recognized daughter of the Zhou family, living a happy and fulfilling life. She blames me for ruining her life, spouting so much nonsense. She must have been driven mad by some fanfiction or fan creation happy face. In truth, she could have had a fortunate life, but unfortunately, she was never satisfied and wanted too much, but she was merely an insignificant passerby in my life. I never paid her any mind, so, with just a simple block, she was instantly deleted from my world. More than a month later, Ing Baiqing's account was updated again. Ing Baiqing, Congratulations to my little painter for winning the global art competition. It's an honor to witness your growth and be a part of your life. Image. The photo shows me holding the trophy at the global art competition abroad, smiling at his camera. Wow, the silver award at the global art competition. Everyone knows how prestigious that is, right? With so many talented young painters from around the world. Standing out among tens of thousands of entries is incredibly difficult. I'm so jealous. She's beautiful, comes from a wealthy family, has a handsome and successful boyfriend, and is so accomplished herself. What window did God ever close for this woman? Close the chat window between you and her. Heartbroken. On this wonderful day, I also snapped a red photo casually, just to show off a little. Xiang Yan, day 909. You are permitted to continue participating in my grand life at Ing Baiqing. Ing Baiqing replied, honored to do so.